Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Ohio.
Yes, indeed, the first of two. Bark in the Park nights at Great American Ballpark. Had a big time of it out on the plaza before the game gets underway, but now it's time to zero in on Major League Baseball. The Reds back from a 10-game road trip and open up a 9-game homestand. It starts with the first of three against the San Francisco Giants. And hi again, everybody, alongside the Cowboy for the first time on the tube this season. I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome, as always, to Reds baseball. These Giants come in. They just swept a doubleheader yesterday over the New York Mets. They're playing very, very well. And, man, the guy on the mound tonight, the Reds better be ready to hit, because Matt Cain might be, at least the last two starts, the best pitcher on the planet.
Well, when you have stats like Matt Cain has thrown out here lately, 18 innings without giving up an earned run, he's only faced 4 batters in an inning 3 times. So you know the guy has been absolutely dominant in his game. That, on the flip side, proves a difficult task for the Reds. They have got to hit this guy and figure out some way to get some runs on the board. You look at Matt Latos. The issue with Matt Latos is he's had a difficult April his whole career. So far this year, it has not been pretty. It's been very difficult for Matt Latos. But there is some huge issues between these two clubs, between Matt Latos when he was in San Diego and when he was pitching against the Giants. I don't know what the words were, but obviously there were a lot exchanged, a lot of issues going on. Maybe, Tom, this will be the start that Matt Latos needs to get him going in the right direction in this April for the Reds.
Should be noted that through those years pitching for San Diego, Latos had outstanding success against the Giants with an ERA of under 2.5. And, of course, tonight he looks for his first win wearing a Reds uniform. When we come back, we're going to talk about the hot-hitting Reds center fielder, Drew Stubbs. You're watching Reds baseball on Fox Sports Ohio.
reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Fans rolling in for baseball, but they are bundled up tonight. It is a chilly night. And our weather report brought to you by Thompson Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drain Cleaning. Here's our old buddy, Tim Hedrick.
I've got one thing to say about tonight's game. Beware the Buster. Don't give Buster Posey anything to hit. He's hitting .500. Pitch around him. Nice night for a ball game. But if you give Buster something right down the middle, in the gap.
Well, you better be careful pitching right now to this man, Drew Stubbs for the Reds.
Well, he has been in the top of the order, Tom, and it's one of the things that the Reds have talked about, needing him to set the table basically for the 3, 4, and 5 guys. Well, it was much difficult for him in the top spot. They moved him down to number 2. Well, look what's happened. Guy's feeling comfortable. He's hitting the ball the other way. He's getting it on base, and he's scoring runs. What else can you ask for from your number 2-hole hitter now?
He'll again be batting in the 2-hole tonight behind Zach Kozar. You see what he's done over the last 8 games. And he's cut way down on the strikeouts, getting a lot more hits. Reds are hoping for more of that tonight. All right, Stubbs and the Reds set to tee it up with Pablo Sandoval and the Giants. First pitch coming up next. Fox Sports Ohio is brought to you by the 2012 Ford F-150 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. By Cincinnati USA Regional Tourism Network. Book your next day at CincinnatiUSA.com. And by Skyline Chili. Game time is Skyline time. Stop by your favorite Skyline Chili tonight. Well, it is a very pleasant weather night here in downtown Cincinnati. And the Reds and the Giants meeting for the first time in this 2012 season. They'll play 7 games, 3 here over the next 3 days, and 4 later in the summer out in San Francisco. Of course, Bruce Bochy led the Giants to their first ever World Series title since moving to the Bay Area 2 years ago. They were 10 games over 500 last year, second in the NL West to Arizona. A couple of changes they made during the offseason. Angel Pagan leads off in center, Melky Cabrera in left, and Pablo Sandoval is at third. Buster Posey healthy again catching. Nate Shearholtz in right, Brandon Belt plays at first base. For the latter third of Emmanuel Burris, Brandon Crawford, and right-hander Matt Cain. And on the mound for the Reds, looking for his first Cincinnati victory, Matt Latos.
Like we said, Tom, I don't know that he has a real good close feeling with the Giants. I can remember back having that Giants-Dodger rivalry back when it was my turn to take the mound, and for some reason it seems to churn on your insides a little bit. And a lot of times for a baseball player coming out of spring training, you don't quite hit that adrenaline rush like you should. And maybe this will be the night that Matt Latos finds it. He gets that adrenaline going, gets that tiger back, the eye back, and gets back to pitching like we know that he can do.
Let's take a look at the Reds defensively behind Latos tonight, presented by your 4 dealers. Ryan Ludwig the 9 and left, Drew Stubbs in center with Jay Bruce in right. Cozart and Brandon Phillips back in the lineup. He's at second base, of course. Scott Rowland and Joey Votto on the corners. Ryan Hannigan will be hanging the sign. Latos' first 2 starts with the Reds, 4 2/3 against the Marlins, 4 runs. In Washington, 5 innings, 2 runs, but nearly 100 pitches. And then his last outing, he was rocked in St. Louis. 8 earned runs in 5 2/3 innings.
Well, this is the first night tonight that he will pitch to Ryan Hannigan, the veteran catcher. He's been known for his game calling. Hopefully this will be something that can get Latos back in the right direction.
Told you the Giants coming off a doubleheader sweep of the Mets yesterday in New York. They have won 8 of their last 11 games and 9 of their last 13. So Pagan digging in. Fastball up and away. And this one officially underway at Great American Ballpark. The Giants lost to their rivals Arizona in Phoenix the first 3 games of the year. But they have been rolling ever since. In fact, they have won each of their last 4 series, and one of those against Philadelphia. Lined into left field, a base hit for Pagan.
The Giants have done a lot of their winning with late inning hitting and some phenomenal pitching. You start pitching the way you keep pitching the way they are, they're going to be awfully tough to beat. It's hard to hold on to what they've been doing lately with the pitching staff.
The Giants believe with Pagan at the top and the man who bats now, Cabrera, in the 2-hole, they are a far more athletic team than the 2011 Giants. Now, they're not going to break, a league record or a franchise record necessarily for stolen bases. But they spent a lot of time on the running game during the spring. Pagan already with a steal. Cabrera has 3. As a team, they have 10. And there goes a runner. And the throw is on a hop to Cozart. So give Pagan in the very first pitch of the next at bat his second steal in as many tries.
Well, the one thing that Matt Latos is going to have to do, Tom, and we saw it in his last start, is get the ball out of his hand into the catcher in a quicker fashion. That time he got the ball to the plate in a little bit better fashion than he has in the past, but it looked like Hannigan had to rush the throw.
So now Melky Cabrera, count of strike 1. With a runner in second and nobody out, and that breaking ball is in there to get ahead 0-2.
I think anything that Bruce Bochy can do to create offense, whether it's running, hitting and running, trying to do whatever he can to create some kind of movement on that defense, he's going to do.
Giants have scored 4 or more runs in 13 of their 16 games this year. That's averaging almost 4.5 runs per game. And you might be saying, well, that's not a big deal. For the Giants, that is a big deal.
That's a huge deal.
You're talking about a team that scored the fewest runs in the National League a year ago. They scored, just to give you as an example, they scored 570 runs. The Reds scored 735 runs. Popped up. So Cabrera will not advance a runner, and Cozart's got it for the first out here in the first inning.
Good pitch by Latos there. He got the cut fastball right in on the hands of Melky Cabrera, and not a whole lot he can do with it. You can either foul this pitch off or take it, but there's not a whole lot you can do to put it in play. That's the pitch that everyone has talked about when you talk about Matt Latos. But lately, and at least in his first 3 starts, he didn't use that pitch hardly at all.
Well, now maybe the hottest hitter in all of Major League Baseball. Pablo Sandoval's hit safely in every game, all 16 games this year. 333 average, 3 home runs, already 13 runs batted in. In fact, the 16-game hit streak to begin a season is tied with the great Willie Mays for the longest in San Francisco era history. It's going back to when they moved from New York to California in 1958.
It's pretty good company.
Getting ready to say, you're in the same sentence with Willie Mays. Chances are you're doing all right. 0-1. All right, Cowboy, at the end of the day, we know that Latos notoriously is a terrible first-month pitcher. Terrible. And he's really good every other month historically in his very young career. What does he have to do exactly to be better tonight?
He's got to pound the strike zone with his 2 best pitches, his fastball and his slider. You do that, you win the ball game. This is not an overpowering lineup that he's facing.
Runner at second, 1 out, just underway, and that fastball is high. 1-1 to Pablo Sandoval.
When we've seen Latos at his best, that has been what he has done. Sinkers down, the high hard fastball up, and the cut fastball that we saw Melky Cabrera pop up just in the last at bat.
One and 2 on Sandoval.
Now that pitch there, even though you saw it break, that's the curveball. That's not the cut fastball. He's setting up Sandoval almost in the same method that he used to set up Melky Cabrera. The curveball, and he'd come right back with that cut fastball right on his hands. It's hard to differentiate between the two.
Giants overall at 9-7. Trailing in the West to the red-hot Dodgers, who are 13-4. They're 3.5 behind L.A. 1-2 to Sandoval. Straight away center field. Playable for Stubbs. It is a very windy night down on that field. Tagging is Pagan. The throw is cut off. 2 out in the inning with a runner at third and Buster Posey coming up.
Well, you talk about the toughest hitter in the game right now, Tom. Slider hard inside, a fastball up, got away from him a little bit. A cutter in on the hands, a curveball there that he flips high and deep into center field. But the bottom line is, all you got to do is get it out there. You advance the guy to third. You've got 2 down. Now you got to get this guy.
And this guy is Buster Posey. First pitch swinging, rolling a backhander, and a good solid throw, and that'll take care of business in the Giants first. A hit a man left. The Reds are coming up against Matt Cain when we return. career with the Giants. Took them to a World Series in 2002. Lost in 7 games to the Angels. But now in his 5th year as manager of the Reds, in his lineup tonight, Zach Cozart at short, Drew Stubbs, Joey Votto. Brandon Phillips back in a cleanup spot. Jay Bruce in right, with Scott Rowland batting 6th down at 3rd, and a ladder 3rd of Ryan Ludwig, Brian Hannigan, and Matt Latos. Matt Cain, shaky his first start of the year in Arizona. Since then, virtually unhittable, and that's not a stretch. 18 innings. He's allowed 3 hits his last 2 starts.
And you look at his record and you think, well, 2 starts, 18 innings of shutout baseball, that's not right. Well, Cliff Lee pitched 10 innings of shutout baseball in the same game. Hang with him.
Cain, a 2-time All-Star in 09 and then last year. And fouling out of play on the first pitch, Zach Cozart. Of course, Cain signed to a 5-year, a whopping 5-year extension that runs along with an option to 2018. Allowed the 2 hits his last outing against Philadelphia, the Cowboy referred to, and Cliff Lee. Both pitchers dominated, in fact, so thoroughly and efficiently that neither team scored through 9 innings, and it was an hour and 49 minutes.
You know, as an announcer, you start thinking, well, I might be able to catch that late movie. You know?
Some of the players wished they had caught that late movie.
Exactly.
Facing those 2 guys. And then, of course, as that one is fouled off and out of play, after that start, Cliff Lee went on the disabled list. Strained an oblique muscle, and now he's out for Philadelphia. And Lord knows they're already missing Chase Utley and Ryan Howard. Well, there are a lot of teams that are beat up early on. Arizona, big rival of the Giants. Daniel Hudson, Justin Upton.
Well, that's the first thing that I think about when I see pitchers going deep into the ball game early. You wonder where the pitch count was, how many pitches in the game. That makes it tough on you. You know, we saw this with Bronson Arroyo 2 years ago, and the same thing with Aaron Harang when both of those guys were pitching deep into the games in April and May, and you get to September, there's no gas in the tank. You have to monitor that big time, as you do with the guys in your bullpen.
2-2 to Cozart.
Tell you what, Tom, I've been awfully impressed with this kid. Just being able to not only be the centerpiece of your infield, but they've hit him just about everywhere, and he's been fine.
I'll tell you what, first time he's facing Matt Cain, he's hanging in there pretty well here. He's already worked him to 6 pitches in this at bat in a 2-2 count. What makes Cain so tough?
He's got 3 pitches that he throws from the same arm slot, and he throws strikes with every one of them. You don't know what's coming and when it's coming. And the fact that he can take a changeup at any point in the count, a breaking ball or a fastball, and locate it on either side of the plate, it's kind of like playing a video game. And I'm not good at those.
Straight up in the air on the 8th pitch of the at bat. And it's out number 1. We look at the Giants defensively, presented by your Ford dealers. They'll go with Pagan, flanked by Cabrera and Shearholtz in the outfield. In the infield, Emmanuel Burris is playing very well in place of longtime Pirates Freddie Sanchez, who's on the mend, and the battery of Posey and Matt Cain. Before that at bat by Zach Cozart, no batter in the last 2 starts for Matt Cain lasted longer than 6 pitches in an at bat.
No walks, striking out just about every hitter that comes up there, and only 3 hits. He has been dominant.
That one rifled down the left field line. This will be extra bases for Stubbs. So we talked about him, Cowboy, before the game got underway, and here he is back on the home front with an early double.
Well, there's a lot to be said in this game of baseball about confidence. Coming into the ball game, the 2 guys that you see in the screen, Matt Cain and Drew Stubbs, are probably riding the most confidence of anybody on the baseball field. You leave a breaking ball right over the heart of the plate, well, guess who wins? Stubbs.
Well, now an early scoring chance, and here's Joey Votto. 291 batter, a home run, 9 runs batted in. That home run ball has been so elusive for the Reds the early part of this year. They had 5 of them the first 3 games here at Great American Ballpark. And over their last 13 games, they have hit only 4 home runs. In fact, over the 13 games, they've only homered in 2 games. Oh, and 2.
That's the changeup that I'm talking about. 85 miles an hour, and you could see Votto just about to pull the trigger thinking it was a high fastball, and it ends up being a changeup instead. That's why he had to stop those hands immediately. You hit that ball, it's a pop fly in the infield.
Votto in a hole at 0-2. Stubbs a runner out at second base. And that didn't take long at all. 18th strikeout already this year for Joey Votto. Well, don't forget, you can play along with Fox Sports Ohio. It closes in the top of the second inning, so log on right now, Fox Sports Ohio, and click on Play Along and watch the rest of the game and see how well you do. We'll have your bonus question coming for you in the bottom of the 5th inning. Reds looking for a 2-out hit from Brandon Phillips.
Well, if you do your homework and you're a left-handed hitter and you're facing Matt Cain, you know that just about 70% of the time you're going to see pitches for strikes on the outside part of the plate. He may come in for balls, but most of the strikes will be away, as we saw in the bat with Votto.
Brandon Phillips only got 1 start in the Chicago series, went 1 for 4 in the game. Willie Harris getting a couple of starts in that series, and Brandon back in a lineup after the off day yesterday. And hopefully he's continuing to get better and better.
Well, the jockeying that we're seeing right now with Drew Stubbs and Emmanuel Burris right out in the second base area, right in here, that may be a big hole for Brandon Phillips. He can hit the ball the other way regardless of where the pitch is.
Well, we had a pitch to hit right there and fouled it straight back. Fastball right down the can, about belt high. Of course, Brandon has been bothered by the cramping in that left hamstring. It forced him to miss 5 straight starts in the middle of the month. And he's been in and out, literally start to start, and even sometimes inside of a game.
I think the big thing for Brandon is he knows what he's got, and you deal with it. And you don't try to overdo it. Yes, he's hit into a couple of double plays. He's hit into a double play that ended a potential big inning for the Reds, but you have to monitor it. If you try to do too much, you may miss a month or 2.
Stubbs a runner at second, scoreless in the first, and it's fouled back out of play. It remains 1-2 on Brandon Phillips. There's very little doubt with some of the slow starts offensively, especially in that number 4 hole, to a lesser extent that 5 spot. If the Reds are going to stick with this lineup for a while, they need Phillips to get it rolling.
Well, I think the thing for Phillips is he's got to understand what he can and can't do with the way his leg is until it gets back to full strength.
2-2.
You can see Cain there. He got the 2 strikes on him. He went down and away with a fastball. Phillips fouled it off, and he comes back with a breaking ball in the exact same spot, hoping that he would chase. When you have command like Matt Cain, you can back up 3 different pitches in the same spot.
Two and 2 to Brandon, and he fights it off and waits for another. A lot of folks wearing navy blue in the stands here tonight. And before the game, of course, and you heard Jim Day and Jeff McCorrow talk about it, the Reds honoring Coach John Calipari and the national champion University of Kentucky Wildcats on the field before the game. They had the championship trophy with them. Very, very nice.
It was nice. I bet it's nice to win a championship almost every, or be in the run for a championship every year.
Every year. 2-2 the count on Phillips. And he struck him out. No, they're saying the ball hit the dirt. And no argument from Posey. He tried to get away with one there, and if you're the catcher, why not? Jerry Davis, a home plate umpire, overruling the call behind the plate.
Well, he takes a hack. This is a changeup. You can see the ball drop down. And it appeared as though Phillips tipped it with the bat, and the ball goes straight down into the dirt. Well, he must have just got the string of the baseball.
That Exmo replay courtesy of Performance Honda. So still life for Phillips up there at the plate. 2-2. That Stubbs leading out there at second base. And it's in the air. Well hit. Left center field. Pagan to the track at the wall, and that is gone. A 2-run home run for Brandon Phillips.
When you throw back-to-back change-ups, you better make sure that the second one bounces. That ball stayed right in the heart of the plate. A change-up, just what Phillips could get to. The first one, yeah, he fouled it off in the dirt. That one was belt high. And that's where a belt high changeup goes, a long way.
First runs allowed by Matt Cain since the 8th of April, the second game of the season in Arizona, when he gave up 5 runs in 6 innings. A no decision that game, but his team lost the game. Heck, he's allowed 2 hits in this inning. And we told you coming into the game tonight, his last 18 innings, back-to-back 9-inning outings, did not allow a run, and allowed a total of 3 hits in those 18 innings.
Well, he made a big mistake right there. And Brandon Phillips, that hole at bat after he got to 2 strikes, which was right off the gate, he's trying to hit the ball the other way. And you throw back-to-back changeups, all he did was speed the bat up. It was right in the heart of the plate.
3-1 to Jay Bruce.
And Cain knows it, too. You could see him after he made the pitch. He slapped the new ball into his glove with a little bit of frustration.
3-1 to Jay Bruce, and that's a borderline strike. Bruce thought it was ball 4. So a huge 2-out hit, a 2-run home run for Brandon Phillips, and the deuce is wild because that's the second home run for Phillips in his career against Matt Cain. It remains 3-2 to Bruce, and the Reds are really making Cain work here in the opening inning.
Huge at bats by Zach Cozart, even though he got him out, and by Brandon Phillips. You work a pitcher this much early in the ball game, it's only going to help you down the line.
And the inning will continue after the 2-out walk to Bruce for Scott Rowland.
You throw 28 pitches in an inning, you got to take a breather.
We brought up earlier over these last 18 innings of Cain. I mean, the beat goes on and on. Just to put it into perspective, he had not allowed more than 4 batters in an inning over his last 2 starts. And already you're in the 6th spot in the Reds order as Rowland looks at strike 1. th pitch in the inning, and it's swung on and missed, and Rowland behind 0-2.
It's really been 2 off-speed pitches that have really hurt him. Matt Cain. It was the curveball to Stubbs that he jerked down the line, and then the high changeup that he threw to Phillips in back-to-back fashion, and that ball left here.
0-2 to Rowland. And he fouls it away. It remains no balls and 2 strikes. Pitching coach Dave Righetti, boy, what a job he's done for the Giants. An outstanding pitcher back in his day, of course, a starter and a reliever.
Former teammate of mine. He knows his stuff.
Runner goes. Take it inside. Posey's throw is not in time into center field, but Bruce was already on the deck. So give Jay Bruce his second steal and another runner in scoring position.
That is a situation where the Reds dugout is timing Matt Cain coming to the plate. He just forgot about Bruce taking that high leg kick, and you take a high leg kick and they've got those stopwatches over there in the dugout. You start hitting that 1.4, 1.5 seconds, they're going to send the runner to second base. You got to remember, Jay lost 15 pounds during the offseason. A little faster.
He runs very well. I mean, he's a big man, but he runs very well, more than capable of getting you 15 to 20 stolen bases, and not more than that every single year.
And I think the Reds realize that with the way the situation is with Matt Cain, you've got him on the ropes right here. You've got a veteran hitter at the plate. You take a chance, put a runner at second base. Maybe you get a third run here.
After falling behind 0-2, rolling now at 2-2. And we'll do it again. Well, what an impressive first inning against a guy who came barreling into town. Virtually unhittable.
Well, it all started with the at-bat by Cozart, taking him really deep into the count before he was out.
Another wasted pitch.
And you can see Matt Cain moving that shoulder around. You're talking about a guy that last 2 starts, he's gone 9 innings. You've got 35 pitches here in the first. How long are you going to let your guy go? You going to let him go 6, 7 innings again? I don't think so. He's going to have some awfully quick innings to pitch deep for me.
And rolling, hanging around. To give you an idea again about these last 2 starts from Cain. 2 starts ago, 9 innings. Allowed 1 hit, no runs. Through 106 pitches. 9 innings his last start. He threw 91 pitches.
And that's fine. But you're still talking about back-to-back ball games where you got to sit down and get up 9 times and go out there and crank it up.
Well, Rolen hasn't squared up anything. Not a foul ball. But the bottom line is he continues to waste pitch after pitch.
I don't think Matt Cain will forget this inning for a while.
10th pitch in this at bat coming to Scott Rolen. Can he cap it off with a knock to bring in a 3rd run? No. To the second baseman, Burris. But a good start for the Reds. A 2-run big fly from Brandon Phillips. An early 2-0 Reds lead. players for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Well, Matt Latos hadn't been around all that long. Came up at the very end of 09. Pitched all of 2010 and 11. But he's made his most career starts against this Giant club at an ERA lingering right around 2.5.
And it's amazing that he has made 9 starts against the club that, and we talked about this earlier, that he just doesn't like. Maybe that's why he doesn't like him. He's had to start against him every time he turns around.
I mean, you talk to players around baseball, and they will tell you, those in the National League will tell you, that, yeah, you can go to New York, but of course the Mets haven't been really all that good over the last couple of years. The Giants have had a real nice run for really a little more than a decade and a half, outside of a year here, year there, but by and large pretty good. A lot of fans, but boy, in the outfield, they are nasty.
They do not let you up for air. I played out there for 6 years, and I remember what it was like. And that's back when you could hear every word from the stands because it wasn't packed.
Man, you talk to outfielders, especially left fielders in the National League, and they will tell you they hear it all night long. Into right field off the bat of Nate Shearholtz. That'll back up Jay Bruce shy of the track. 1 out.
And that's part of what you're talking about when you're talking about a home field advantage. You want to have fans that take it to the other team. But Matt Latos, I think he'll flat tell you this is not a team that he's real excited about being a part of, and tell you, he's not a real happy camper when it comes to the Giants.
Well, in fact, there was a baseball, we're going to show it to you here in a minute, it was on eBay.
Yeah.
It was up for sale. It was signed by Matt Latos. And take a look at this. Matt Latos, you take care of the rest.
Yeah, there you go. Now, that doesn't tell you how he feels about the Giants. Well, not sure what will.
Oh, and 2 to Brandon Belt, getting the nod at first base. Off to a very slow start is Belt, 6 out of 26. Now, right in the middle of that Giant lineup, they've got 4 or 5 guys that are off to a great start this year, including the guy that Latos just got out, Nate Shearholtz. He came into the game already with 3 home runs, 9 runs batted in, batting average up over 370. But the other guys, not to say they can't hurt you, because we know they can, and they believe this kid's going to be a good hitter. But right now, going down through the rest of the order, guys have had a tough time getting hits, and Latos takes care of Belt, his first strikeout of the night.
Down and away. Looked like a split finger or a changeup. Took something off of it, and he had Belt way out in front. That's the ability to pitch on both sides of the plate, and that's why the cutter for Matt Latos against left-handers is so important. It just opens up the whole outside part of the plate.
2 down in the inning for Emmanuel Burris. He just steps out of the box and takes a fastball, strike 1.
And that's a good job by Matt Latos by not stopping. A lot of hitters will do that and make you balk or make you stop.
He went around 0-2. Vic Carapazza, the home plate umpire tonight. Jerry Davis at second. The crew chief Tim Wilkie out at second base. Davis at first. And Greg Gibson works down at third.
Well, I think what everyone wants to see, Tom, is the real Matt Latos. And we've seen flashes of it, but we haven't seen extended versions of it. So far tonight, he's on his game.
Jam shot pop up down the left field line, and that is a foul ball by a matter of inches, maybe an inch.
Wow. Watch where this ball lands. The Bermuda Triangle down the left field line.
Burrs has done a pretty nice job filling in for Freddie Sanchez, their regular second baseman. For Sanchez, a former winner of a National League batting title back in his days with the Pirates, just a good solid hitter. But Burrs has been very good with a glove and has swung the bat pretty well.
He's a pesky little hitter.
Dribbler down to Rowland. He throws on the run and got in good place. Scotty Rowland in a 1-2-3 second for Matt Latos. Ludwig to lead off the bottom of the inning. Reds lead 2-0. The Reds with MLB.com. At Bat 12, the app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Text it back to 31826 or visit Reds.com for details. Reds lead 2-0. 4 of the batters of the 6 that came to the plate against Kane in the first inning. Their at-bats lasted 7 pitches or more. And again, to repeat, not a single batter lasted more than 6 pitches against Kane his last 2 starts, spanning 18 scoreless innings. 0-2 to Ludwig. So here's Kane. 40 pitches he has thrown through the first inning and the first batter of the second inning.
You know, Tom, you were talking earlier about the Reds not hitting home runs on this last road trip, basically. And playing in Washington and playing in the weather that they played in Chicago, with it being as cold as it was and blowing straight in, that has a lot to do with the ball not leaving the ballpark as well. I guarantee you they're glad to be back with some semblance of warmth and no wind after that Chicago trio.
It was very, very windy here as recently about 10 or 15 minutes ago, and now virtually non-existent. Well, 2-2 now on Ryan Ludwig. He'll be followed by Ryan Hannigan and then the pitcher Matt Latos.
When Kane came out to start the ball game, he was working about as fast as you could work, pumping strikes left and right. And after that bat with Cozart and then Stubbs doubled, he did get Votto on 3 pitches, but it's been a job now. I mean, he's having to work for every pitch he's getting. And this is a 6-pitch at bat already. First batter of the second inning. That's how you get in somebody's bullpen early.
Another foul ball out of play. Told you the Giants played a doubleheader yesterday. In the first game of the doubleheader, their struggling ace, right-hander Tim Lincecum, got the win, his first of the year. But he needed 100 pitches in 5 innings to get the win. So they used 4 innings in the first game out of the bullpen. They got 7 strong from Madison Bumgarner in a Game 2 win. Still 2-2 to Ludwig. They did have an off day on Sunday because of the rainout.
But you're still talking about the Reds putting now 46 pitches, and we don't have an out in the second inning.
9th pitch in this at bat to Ryan Ludwig. Breaking ball, a strike 3 call.
Ludwig thought that was up, and it looked up. You hate to get rung up on a high breaking ball, whether it's a strike or not, after you've been battling and battling and battling to fight the pitches that are coming plateward. Borderline, could have gone either way.
That'll bring up Ryan Hannigan, batting in the number 8 spot, and dumps it foul off to the first base side out of play. This Giant rotation is certainly the strength of this club. Last year they were the only team in Major League Baseball, the only team that had 4 starters in their rotation, all with earned run averages below the Major League average, while averaging 7 or more strikeouts per 9 innings. In fact, there were only 3 other teams in baseball that had 3 starters meet that criteria. Problem for the Giant starters last year, the fact that they just did not score any runs, so they didn't pile up the win.
But you can pitch all day long, and if you don't put a scratch on the board, you're not going to win.
In fact, tonight's starter, Matt Cain, no one in Major League Baseball could have a better trial in his favor if he wanted to file a suit for lack of run support in all of baseball. You go back to his first year in the Major League, 2006. He has gotten the lowest run support of any pitcher in Major League Baseball.
He's got a pretty good case. But there are 2 different ways to get into an opponent's bullpen. Number 1, you score a whole lot of runs early. Number 2, you run that pitch count up to around 100 before the 5th inning, and he's going to be out of there.
There's that breaking ball again, and again it's a called 3rd strike. Well, Reds fans, if a Reds home run hits a Toyota sign tonight, Patty Smith of Cincinnati, who currently drives a 2009 Camry, would win that beautiful new Tundra on display each and every day at Great American Ballpark. And why not register for your chance to win it? Just stop by your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealer. Two out, nobody on. Reds lead 2-0 in the second, and here's Latos. Strike 1. We talk about it all the time. If you were to just open a stat sheet at a pitcher's offensive stats, you'd have a very good idea about how well they're pitching early in the year. Tonight you have 2 starters that have made 3 starts. Latos has 3 at-bats. Cain has 9. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Latos. And it's a 2-0 Reds lead. Tell you what's happening, brought to you by Miller Lite. Tonight's Ohio Lottery Mega Millions jackpot, a cool $76 million. And the drawing is not until 11 p.m. tonight.
Hurry!
That's tip money for Matt Cain.
No doubt.
For that matter, Brandon and Joey Votto.
Brandon and Joey. Must be tip money for Lincecum because he's just holding out.
It'll be Brandon Crawford, the shortstop, number 8 hitter, followed by Cain, then back to the leadoff man and Angel Pagan. And there's a fastball from Latos at the belt, strike 1. Crawford only a 200 batter, but boy, he's made the most of his base hits. He has 12 hits, 6 of them doubles, 1 of them a home run, and 8 runs batted in. Young man who grew up in the Bay Area. His family had season tickets to the Giants game right behind their dugout growing up as a kid over on the third base side. And in his very first major league debut, his folks were sitting in those seats. And in Crawford's first major league at bat, he hit a foul ball that they caught.
Oh, wow.
Back up the middle and into center field, a base hit on a 1-1 pitch by Crawford. Well, the first hit he's ever had in his brief career against the Reds in his 17th at bat, and here comes Cain.
And see, that's the type of play that I think Brandon Phillips is more likely to get hurt on than it is running the bases. Instinctively, you go to get the baseball. When you're running bases, you can gear it down a little bit. On a play like that, that's tough to stop.
Cain bunts it foul.
You see Brandon Phillips dive for the baseball here. Now this is normally a play where he'll backhand that ball and turn and try to, as he's falling down, try to make that throw to first base. But when you're wrapped up as tight as he is on that left hamstring, you can't move.
Bunted foul, and it's 0-2 to Cain. Cowboy, if you know a guy's up there to bunt and try to advance a run, what is the hardest pitch to bunt?
Fastball in. It's the first thing that you try to do. He stands up there, and as he squares around to bunt, you throw the ball right at his hands. If he bunts it foul, you do it again. If he bunts it foul for the second time, you do it a third time. But if they take it, then you got to throw a strike.
Well, they're setting up away from Cain, and he just puts the bat on the ball and gets a job done, and Phillips just does get that toe on the bag.
Well, that is a scary play for me with Joey Votto. He comes in with huge aggressiveness, in all likelihood trying to get the runner at second base. But you can't do it every time. You've got to know the speed of the runner at first base and the fact that Brandon Crawford is a shortstop. He's probably going to beat that ball out unless you get a bullet. That was not a bullet, and it almost cost an error.
We're in the third, back to the leadoff man, and Pagan, who was the only Giant base runner through the first 2 innings of his game. He led off the game with a single, stole second, but never moved until a fly ball for a second out got him to third, and that's where he was left to end the inning. On the ground to Cozart. He'll throw out Pagan. On to third goes Crawford. And one more out to go for Latos to keep it a 2-0 ball game.
First time up for Pagan, he got that fastball away and he just slapped it into left field. This time he gets a cutter right on his knuckles. He tries to slap it the other way, but by the time the bat head gets there, the ball is on his wrist.
Latos will work out of the regular windup with a runner at third and 2 men out. Cabrera popped up to Cozart his first time up and takes a fastball up and away.
I think if you're Latos, this is the guy that you want to get. You don't want to get into that Sandoval, Buster Posey territory.
Good fastball there on the outer edge, 1-1. Cabrera, of course, a part-time starter through his first 5 years in the major leagues with the Yankees. Was traded to Atlanta, and he was just terrible. Well, he went back to the American League with Kansas City and had an outstanding year, his best in the big leagues last year, and the Giants brought him in during the offseason. In the air, left field should end the inning, and it will.
Good job.
Middle of the third, Reds 2, Giants nothing. Tonight, AT&T. Reds and the Giants played nearly 2,050 times. Name the two teams the Reds have played more than that. Well, naturally, my first guess, if you saw the Giants, right, and they go all the way back to New York, the Dodgers go all the way back to New York. So, you know, is it logical to say, okay, maybe the Dodgers would be one of the two other teams? Maybe the Pirates? Cubbies, right?
Cardinals would have to be in there.
I would think they're in there as well. That would be, if I had to pick two teams, that would be the group I think you'd be picking from.
I would go Cardinals and Pirates. That's what I would say.
Okay.
If I was guessing.
Down the right field line. And that is up against the wall for Zach Cozart, and he has a double to begin the Reds' third against Matt Cain.
Fastball in. That's just a great job of hitting right there. You get inside the baseball and use the velocity of the pitch, just getting the fat part of the bat to the ball.
Zach Cozart safe at second base. He's safe and secure. New York Life. Well, now the Giants are debating, do you ask Stubbs to bunt? The first baseman's not buying it. And it's bunted perfectly. Look out. Good play by Cain.
Wow.
Boy, is that a nice play, but a good bunt by Stubbs to advance a run.
A great bunt on the sacrifice in, and I tell you what, Matt Cain, he showed off some velocity right there, because when he backhanded that ball, he was only steps from first base. You bunt it to the third base side. Sandoval's got no chance of getting this. Cain gets it, and boy, he turns around with a rocket shot to first base. Woo.
Now the Giants going to bring their infield in. Here's Votto, struck out on 3 pitches, his first at bat tonight. Runner at third, 1 out.
Joey had a chance earlier to drive in a run, and as you said, struck out.
It's hard to believe here early on in the year that Votto actually has struck out more than any other Red. You wonder if some of that's not feeling the pressure. The way maybe some of the guys have not been hitting behind him in the lineup, and now he's behind 0-2.
Well, both of those pitches appeared to me that he was just trying to lift the ball into the outfield, trying to get as good a pass as he can on the ball and hit it into the outfield in the air, and you score the run.
All up and away. Notice the right hand of Votto when he gets to 2 strikes in at bat. He'll feel down where the end of the bat is, and then he'll gauge how far up he then wants to choke up. You don't see that very often.
No.
Especially from 3-hole hitters.
No. The guy knows how to hit the baseball.
Wow. Struck him out for the 2nd straight time. 2 are out in the inning.
You can see Votto getting out on that front foot. Watch his body coming forward, coming towards the pitcher. When you come towards the pitcher, it's almost as though you're swinging underwater. You lose all of your bat speed. You've got to stay on that back leg in order to get your hands and your hips to clear.
Well, Brandon Phillips delivered the big 2-out hit, a 2-run home run in the first inning, and the Reds are leaning on him for another 2-out hit here in the third.
Well, they are barking at Calipari from the Reds dugout after that breaking ball.
Oh, and 1 to Phillips, and it's quickly 0-2 on a breaking ball away from him.
That's back-to-back sliders. One that's a hanger up and in that he gets called a strike, and that one was a heck of a pitch right there. That is a pitcher's pitch. If you're teaching the slider at home, that last pitch to Brandon Phillips, that's how you throw it.
Well, of course, if you're Cozart, you got to be alive down there at third base and get a good aggressive secondary lead. If he's going to throw those sliders down and away, there's a chance they end up in the dirt. That's probably his goal, is to throw it up there in the dirt.
Exactly. Then you got to count on Posey to keep it in front of him.
Broken bat roller to Crawford, and the Reds leave a runner at third. Chance missed after a leadoff double. We played 3. Reds lead 2-0. Question. Reds have played only 2 other teams more than they have played the Giants through the history of the franchise. Cowboy, you guessed two, the Pirates and the Cardinals?
Yes.
I went with the Dodgers. But wow, the Braves. Huh. I'd have never gotten that one.
I wouldn't either.
No. Never gotten that one.
You got the Dodgers, though.
Of course, you know, as we move forward, I'd be interested to know how far back the Pirates, the Cubs, and the Cardinals would be, because now with the advent of the unbalanced schedule, and you're only playing the Giants and the Dodgers, you know, normally 6 times a year. This year the Reds will play the Giants 7 times.
Sooner or later they're going to catch up.
Yeah, it'll take a while, I would imagine. Pablo Sandoval off the end of the bat, drives it still in the left center field. I tell you what, we haven't seen Ludwig play an entire season, but he has been a very impressive defender early on this year out in left field.
Well, the key for Ludwig is he gets good breaks on the ball. And he knows that with a left-hander at the plate, when the ball is hit to the left center field gap in the air, the ball is going to come back to him. So he got a good break on the ball. The ball does come back to him because it was hit off the end of the bat. Makes a nice catch.
So now Buster Posey. Boy, it's so nice to see him back healthy again, playing baseball. Who could forget last year on May the 25th, that home plate collision with the Marlins Scott Cousins, resulting in a broken left leg, ligament damage in the left ankle, required multiple surgeries. It's just good to see him back playing again. Bouncer down to roll him 2 outs. In fact, Bruce Bochy has told Buster Posey, told him point blank, never again are you to block home plate. Never again.
Yeah, don't block home plate. There's a play at home. You sweep tag. Get out of the way.
Posey said for a while there after the injury, you know, Cowboy, I mean, originally in college, this guy was a shortstop at Florida State.
I know, and a good one.
And they moved him back behind a plate. And he was contemplating doing away with catching altogether. But as his rehab got better, his leg got stronger, he realized that's what he loved most, was still catching. And here's that injury. It was just terrible. Oh, boy.
Well, I think any time that you're a catcher and you're blindsided, as he was there, in that position where the ankle and his whole body rolled over the top of it, there's nothing good that can come from that. You know, and I think in the decision-making process with Bochy, what he's saying is you get out of the way, you catch the ball, you swipe the tag. That way, if the runner does come after you, well, he's out of the game. Plain and simple.
Well, meanwhile, Latos has retired Sandoval and Posey to begin this 4th inning. And now ahead on Nate Shearholtz. At 1 ball and 2 strikes, and here it comes. Strike 3 called on the outside corner, and that'll end the inning.
I think we're seeing a real guy. Backdoor slider right on the money. Boom.
Ohio, brought to you by JTM Food Group, creating great dishes together with the food industry for over 30 years. And by your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. For over 30 Toyota offers available now, visit buyatoyota.com, including mobile. Ah, yes, along the mighty Ohio, we're in downtown Cincinnati. Reds finally, after 10 games spanning 11 days through Washington, St. Louis, and Chicago, are back on the home front, and they lead the Giants in the first of 3. 2-0. Jay Bruce leads off the last of the 4th inning against Matt Cain. The Reds scored on a 2-run home run in the first inning by Brandon Phillips.
Well, let's see if Jay learned anything from the at-bats of Joey Votto and his last at-bat. We talked about it from the beginning. The left-handers, for Matt Cain, he's pitching them away, away, away. And he throws one in.
Well, they're going away again. And that one bounces up there. 3-1 to Bruce. He walked, stole a base, was stranded at second in the first inning.
Let's see where he goes here on the 3-1. Will he go back in, or will he try to stay away and use the big part of the park? He's going out.
Rolling on deck, and then Ryan Ludwig here in the Reds' 4th. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Reds. No runs, 2 hits for the Giants. Went the other way with it, hit it pretty well. But room out there short of the track, 1 out. Kroger and the Reds are proud to team up to offer you a great value this year. You know it, the Kroger Meal Deal. So check concession stands throughout the ballpark for the Kroger Meal Deal. It includes a full-size adult hot dog, a bag of chips, a 16-ounce Coke, and during this homestand, Blue Diamond Almonds. Make sure to get your Kroger Meal Deal. You get it for $8. Strike 1 to Roland. He had a lengthy at bat, 10 pitch at bat. His first time up, popped up to Burris. And this time Crawford will throw him out, 2 away. After every Reds game, we will break it down for you here on Fox Sports Ohio with Reds Live. Brought to you by King's Honda, the King's Auto Mall. Visit KingsHondaUSA.com.
You know, Tom, it looks like Joey Votto and Roland right now are being so aggressive that it's causing them to really go forward, going towards the pitcher. They're not having anything solid in their foundation to hit with. They're not staying back on the ball. Everything, their hands and their body are going forward.
Well, by far the easiest inning of the night. 1, 2, 3. And we march on to the 5th. Reds lead Cain and the Giants 2-0. Power rankings and his award for this season. Of course, take you right up to the NFL draft. It's all at foxsportsohio.com, presented by 1-800-SAFE-AUTO and safeauto.com. NFL draft day after tomorrow, and that'll be at night. So Cowboy, the Reds will be wrapped up for the day after an afternoon tilt. Will you, yay or nay, be watching the NFL draft?
Of course.
I mean, you got your family in town. You're not going to all of a sudden look at Ashley and say, hey, you know, I know you were counting on a really nice dinner tonight, but I'm going to watch the NFL draft.
I have technology that I can carry with me. I can check on it, and nobody will know. It'll be a secret. You just blew it now. She's probably watching.
Well, I'll be the bearer of bad news, so it'll take you off the hook. Oh, there's a hot smash into center field by Brandon Belt, and that's the way the Giants' fifth inning gets started with the Reds up 2.
Appeared to be a first pitch fastball over the plate, and Brandon Belt, he times that one perfectly right back up the box. A nice effort by Kozar.
You know, the first batter in an inning has really given the early part of this year Latos a lot of trouble, and here he is tonight. He's working on a 3-hitter. But through the first 5 innings, 3 of the 5, the leadoff man has been aboard. There's a Tapper foul.
Well, I think part of that, Tom, is the first batter that stands up there in the inning. He's trying not to pick around. He's just trying to just throw as many strikes as possible, and that's leading to a pitch over the heart of the plate.
The leadoff batter in an inning has now reached, and let's see, 11 of the 21 innings against Latos. That's a high number, and one that, of course, he will try and correct. That goes a long way in making sure the other team doesn't put runs on the board. Leadoff man in the first inning singled, stole a base, got to third with 2 out, was stranded. Leadoff batter Crawford is single in the third inning. They butted him to second. A ground out got him to third, and he was stranded there. And now Belt is single to begin this fifth.
All on fastballs that were up.
Double play ball here. And that'll take care of Mr. Crawford. Mr. Belt out at first base. 2 out in the inning.
Maybe he just wanted to give the infielders a little workout. You know, he got Kozar to dive for that ball, got Phillips involved there, and Kozar throws it over to Joey. He's given Roland quite a bit of work early. Got to keep your guys live.
Keep them on their toes.
Never know when you might need them.
Well, here comes Crawford. He's singled into center field in the third inning. 2 out, nobody on. Reds leading 2-0 on a 2-run home run from Brandon Phillips in the first inning. First 2 runs, and Matt Cain is allowed
in forever.
Since the 8th of April. Well, you know, you look at a calendar, and, you know, today the 24th, and you're thinking, well, really, the 8th of April is not that long ago. That seems like 2 months ago.
I know. Especially after that road trip we just got off of. Seemed like we were in Chicago for a month.
Very pleasant there weather-wise, as you brought up earlier.
Oh.
Really nice time of year there.
That was so cold. I think Jay Bruce said that was the coldest 3 innings he ever spent in his life.
I told my wife one summer when I was doing the Cubs games many years ago, back in the early 90s. It was like that, almost like that, all the way until the end of June. Fly ball to center field. And that's out. 5 innings of 3-hit shutout baseball from Matt Latos. The Reds lead 2-0. There's a couple more of them, in fact.
Looked like somebody was giving him some pizza.
Down at the bottom of that screen. Jim Day, Jeff Pecoro. Reds Live, so you think you're a Reds fan. Presented by E Door and Window. Reds Live set for fabulous prizes. Stop by every Friday, including this Friday. Well, the Astros coming to town. 6:30. Come on over. Bark in the Park tonight. When those tickets went on sale, 660 of them were sold just like that for the Dogs.
That's the way we like it.
I'll tell you one thing. Well, there are a lot of folks that, make fun of different teams around baseball, and a lot of them are doing it for having this kind of a night. But I know one thing. Those animal lovers, if they can bring their dog along to the game, they'll spend some money and come to a ball game now.
Well, yeah. Why would you not?
Have your buddy sit in your lap just like that. Nice. One ball and 2 strikes on Ryan Hannigan, to be followed by Matt Latos and Zach Kozoi. Came through 55 pitches through the first 2 innings. Over the last 2 innings, 21.
Well, the Reds need another inning where they put some pitches on this guy.
That one hooked into left field, and Melky Cabrera runs it down. 1 out. Well, if you're playing along with Fox Sports Ohio during our game, here's your bonus question. How many times will a player strike out in the 8th inning? If you're not playing along, join us on FoxSportsOhio.com each Tuesday night throughout the year. Winners will be announced in tonight's postgame show.
Who's pitching? I want to know who's pitching before I give my guess.
Because they could change dramatically.
Exactly.
In fact, it's not only Aroldis Chapman. But, you look down in there in that Giant bullpen.
They got some hammers, too.
They got some guys down there now. Sergio Romo last year had a 14-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. 14-to-1.
But it falls off if you throw a left-hander in there, which the Reds don't have too many of those sitting on the bench. Left-handers hit him pretty good. Right-handers, not so hot.
Swing and a miss, 2-2 on Latos. He struck out his first time up.
I wonder how bad he wants to hit a home run right here.
Fouled away. We'll do it again at 2-2. Kane is fan 5. The 5 total strikeouts came through the first 3 innings, including striking out the side in the second inning. Not walked about it, but he threw nearly 40 pitches in the first inning. And the Reds got him for a 2-run home run. 6 of them.
Reds fans, if you're in the restaurant industry, let JTM Food Group help you with great tasting, healthier products for your menu. That's JTM.
Now Zach Kozart, 1 of 2, doubled to right field his last time up. Cubs early on a 1-0 lead over the Cardinals. That game in the bottom of the second inning at Wrigley. Cubs rally to beat Jason Mott in the bottom of the 9th inning last night. Kozart drives one into left center field, and it hangs up long enough for Pagan. We go to the 6th. Reds still lead 2-0.
championship. University of Kentucky Wildcats honored national championship trophy here. And, of course, Coach Calipari throughout the pitch tonight. Big out here in full force. Jim Day with you, and we're out here on the CBTS Pilot House in center field. Coach Cal's kind enough to join us. You've gone on quite a track. I know you went around on a train ride around the state of Kentucky with that trophy, and now the trophy here.
Buses around there.
Buses. How's it been?
It's been fun, and bringing it to northern Kentucky, these fans, and it's amazing. Half the building here is blue, which is really neat. But it was nice. They got to see it. They got to take pictures with me and some of them and sign some autographs. We just want to let everybody know how much we appreciate their support of the program.
Well, Lexington is definitely Reds country, and it is.
It is. You better be rooting for the Reds in Lexington, I'll tell you that.
No question about it. How have your players been? I know you got some players leaving, but they've had to celebrate this up and soak it all in as well.
Well, I want them to enjoy it. I mean, what they accomplished, all bunch of young kids that came together with Darius Miller, a senior, and just said, we're going to do this. It's unique and special. But it wasn't that they were one and dones. It's what they showed every young player in this country. Share the ball. Play for your teammate. Play hard. Compete. Play to win. Forget about you. Sacrifice for your team. You'll do less, but you'll gain more as a team and as an individual. It was a great thing for everybody to see.
Wow, I'm ready to play right now. Perhaps you can give the pregame speech to the Reds tomorrow. Now, you've got some guys leaving to the NBA, a lot of guys, just a whole starting five. And it hasn't six going, and it hasn't been about Coach Cal reacting to that's when a strikeout, they send the Flames out of the smokestacks. That was a beautiful reaction. You don't talk about rebuilding in Lexington. You talk about reloading. Can you do it again next year?
Well, we have no choice. I mean, the biggest thing is we've got a bunch of young kids coming in again with Cal, and you have a few players, Ryan Harrow, who sat out. You know, John Hood will be healthy. We got a couple other guys, and then a group of young players. We're still looking to see if we can get one more young guy, see if that happens. We're still recruiting a few more players, and it'll be on. I mean, we'll be expected. Someone said we're number 2 in the country. We just lost 98% of our offense.
No pressure.
And you're supposed to be number 2. I don't understand.
Well, Coach, we're glad to have you tonight. We appreciate the time, and congratulations once again on the national championship.
Did I throw a strike?
I'm not sure if it was a strike or not. Maybe we'll have to get the pitch tracks on it. But you didn't bounce it up there, right?
No, I didn't. Not only didn't bounce it, the guy had the gun on it. I think it was near 86, 85. No?
Wow. You might be able to come out of the pen tonight, so we'll keep that in mind. But you'll have to change into some red. All right, boys, back to the booth. Big Blue Nation, as I said, out in force tonight.
Indeed they are, and congratulations to Coach Calipari, the entire program, the entire Commonwealth, and all the Wildcat faithful, and Lord knows there are lots of them right here in the greater Cincinnati tri-state area. 1-2 to Pagan, and it's fouled off out of play. Latos is fan 3. He's only allowed 3 base hits. Pagan to lead off the first inning, Crawford to begin the third, and Belt to start the 5th.
But the key right now for Latos, he is at 55 pitches. The other 3 starts that he made, that was maybe two and a third innings. There's a whole lot of difference in a strike thrower and keeping the ball down. He has really mastered the fastball and the cut fastball or slider that we talked about early in the ball game, and it has been awfully aggressive from the get-go.
2-2 on Pagan, and it's into left field. A long run, and it's out of play.
Tom, you were right earlier about Ryan Ludwig. The jumps that he gets on the baseball, if that ball's fair there, he makes that catch along the left field wall. Not an easy position to play, especially in this ballpark, but he gets some great jumps. Very similar to what we see in Jay Bruce on the right side.
Soft liner, and that is caught by Kozart for the second out of the inning.
Tell you what, that's a great play right there. You have to dive forward. It is difficult to judge where the ball is going to be by the time you get to your belly. You dive side to side, that's one thing. You can judge the angle of the ball. He's got to dive straight towards the hitter and make the catch. It's a heck of a play. I like this kid.
Boy, I tell you, you're not lying. Brings back a conversation we had last summer, ironically enough, with a scout for the Giants who was watching Cozart down in the minor leagues. And, of course, everybody here was screaming and yelling about get Cozart up to the big leagues. And the scout for the Giants told us at the time, he said, I told Brian Sabian, my boss, the Giants general manager, 2 years ago, watching Cozart at Dayton, Ohio, said, I told him, run his name out there. If we're looking to make a big deal, just throw his name out there and see if they're really paying attention to their system, he said, because I think the Reds might have their shortstop for the next decade by the time Cozart gets to the big leagues. He might be right. Base hit into right by Cabrera.
Cabrera did a good job on getting on top of that ball. Was trying to come in with that cut fastball again. And Cabrera, instead of trying to get inside of it, he gets on top of it. That means you've really got to get the top hand of the baseball. See where that pitch is? He really had to drive that top hand of the ball and get the bat head to the baseball.
Well, in a 2-0 game, you got to really bear down here. One guy that certainly is more than capable of finding the seats. I mean, he's not thought of as a slugger, but Sandoval is a very good hitter. So 1 on, 2 out, 2-0 Reds here in the top of the 6th inning. Strike one.
Well, this at bat right here, Tom, sets up the rest of your game. If you get this out here, then you can split up those big guys that we were talking about in the middle. Sandoval, Posey, and Nate Schierholtz. You don't want to have to face all three of those guys in consecutive fashion when you're running out of gas at the end of the game.
Beat him with a fastball up. All right, he's ahead of him now, 0-2. Well, he's really got him around the neck.
He can bounce this ball right here. I've got to believe that Sandoval is looking in because of the way he swung at that pitch. Get a guy chasing up a high heater like that. He's really aggressive, opening up that front side early, trying to cheat on the inside.
Oh, and 2 on Sandoval. Latos a glance over his shoulder. Just low and away with a fastball. Told you Sandoval has a base hit in every Giants game this year. 16 straight games to begin the season with at least one hit.
I don't think he doesn't know it either. And the time is running out.
Runner goes, and it bounces up there, and an easy stolen base for Melky Cabrera, his 4th and 5 tries.
Well, that bounced breaking ball, I thought that was the pitch he was going to throw on the pitch before. He went away with the fastball. Now I think you can come back in.
2-2 on Sandoval, and it's fouled off.
He's definitely working both sides of the plate on him. You just don't want to let Sandoval serve one into left field. He's good at that. Anything that's off speed, that's out over the plate, he can serve that ball the other way. We've seen him do it a million times out in San Francisco.
2-2 to Sandoval. They set up out there again. Latos a check of the runner. And the fastball missed. So Matt got ahead of him at no balls and 2 strikes. The count is now run full. Posey waits in the on-deck circle. Reds lead 2-0. And Cabrera, the runner at second base. Sandoval out of the box. Latos off the rubber. Sandoval back in there, and Latos ready for a payoff pitch. And it's on the way. Fouled off again.
Well, he has not gone back to the breaking ball since he bounced it.
The longest Giant at bat of the night tonight against Latos. 7 pitches so far. Latos against Sandoval. Number 8 coming up. And Latos hoping it'll end this top of the 6th inning. There'll be a 9th pitch.
Well, there's no doubt that Latos still has a lot in the tank. That pitch was 94 miles an hour. Middle away. And Sandoval, with that 16-game hitting streak, was late. And that's 3 consecutive heaters in the same spot.
Once more, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Sandoval waits. It looked like they had him. Latos could not believe it. He was on his way to the dugout. That is a pitch all night long that Vic Carapazza has been ringing up batter after batter on.
And immediately, watch where this ball is. Tell you what, looked like a pretty good pitch to me. It's where the ball crosses the plate now, not where Ryan Hannigan catches it. And immediately Hannigan goes to the mound. Brandon Phillips comes in from second base. The last thing that you want is for your pitcher to lose his composure right here. He's made some great pitches to Posey earlier in the ball game. Both ground balls to Roland. All you need is 1 pitch here and you're out of the inning.
And these are the situations. I mean, you got to remember now, Matt Latos is younger than Mike Leake. These are the situations in the past at times where a bad call by an umpire has really gotten underneath the skin of Latos. So let's see if he's able to forget about that, which he certainly fell with strike 3, and now go to work on Posey. 2 on for the first time all night, and there's ball 1. Posey twice has bounced out to Roland. All this started with 2 men out. A single by Cabrera. He stole second. Sandoval walked. And now 1-0 on Posey. The Reds leading by 2. 25th pitch of the inning coming up for Matt Latos.
Wow.
I'm a little surprised maybe right now we haven't seen a visit to the mound.
Yeah, I am too. I thought that Brian was coming out after the breaking ball in the dirt.
Of course, for Brian Price and Dusty Baker, they're just getting to know Matt Latos too. I mean, let's face it, of his first 3 starts, this is by far his best start.
Right. And I think that you're exactly right, Tom. Sometimes you just want to see what a guy's made of.
Two and 1 to Buster Posey with 2 on and 2 out. Fouled out of play.
That is by far the best changeup that he has thrown all night long. I could have sworn it was a fastball by looking at his arm. It was 84 miles an hour. Now, do you go back to the breaking ball here, or do you stay with the fastball away? That's his two choices.
2-2 to Posey. Came back with a fastball in on his hands at 94 miles per hour. Posey able to drop it off to the first base side. Well, they're really making Latos work here in this inning, and really it's been just the last three batters. He retired the first two rather easily in this inning.
Well, these are the best guys in their lineup, and they realize that the game is at hand here.
Two on, two out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Full count, and now the runners get started. Perhaps the biggest pitch of the night for Matt Latos coming up. Boy, these giant hitters are really battling. Latos continues to pump that fastball in on the hands, and they continue to get foul balls to the opposite field. Melky Cabrera, the runner at second base. Pablo Sandoval at first. 2 out. Reds lead 2-0, 3-2 on Buster Posey. Foul ball again out of play.
He barely got to that pitch. 95 away, and he's looking fastball. He can't be looking for anything else except the hardest pitch that he's got. He's just trying to flip that one down the line.
Clobbered a mile, but foul. Holy Moses. That was caught off a bounce by the guy in the third deck.
Nice snag. You think he thought he was going to get a ball today?
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
No chance.
All right, once more, 3-2, Latos to Posey. And they are loaded ball 4. Mercy, mercy, mercy. And for the first time, there is rapid fire movement in that Reds bullpen. And here comes Brian Price. The inning began with a strikeout of Kane. Pagan, a soft liner that was caught by Kozar. But then what we thought might have been a harmless 2-out single by Cabrera has been followed by a stolen base and consecutive walks to Sandoval and Posey to load him up.
And it's not as though Latos has not been in the strike zone. It's the at-bats that both Sandoval and Posey put together. I mean, my goodness, they have fouled off balls both in and out. And you're trying to make a perfect pitch to get out of the inning.
Shields tonight is fly to right. That sent Bruce to the warning track leading off the second inning, and then Latos struck him out looking in the fourth.
I was talking earlier with, I can't remember who it was now, but this is the one guy that you just always see him getting those hits in tough situations. So Latos is going to have to bear down big time right here.
Well, he's going to work out of the regular windup. The bases are loaded. And the Reds clinging to a 2-0 lead in the 6th.
Well, there's a reason Sherholtz hits behind Posey.
After having a very liberal strike zone through the front 5 innings each side, I mean, for Kane and for Latos, all of a sudden things have gotten very tight for Vic Calipari. Boy, this is a huge pitch coming up right here. 2-0 to Sherholtz. Base is loaded, 2 out. And drops a 2-0 breaking ball on him. Wow.
Well, this is no chump on the mound. He wants this as bad as anybody on the field to play.
2-1 offering. Bouncing ball to Phillips, and Latos battles to take care of the inning. And he is fired up. And why not? He'll get a standing ovation from the crowd as he protects his 2-0 Reds lead.
Minutes before every game with Reds Live, presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing on Fox Sports Ohio. Reds Live has everything you need to know for that night's game, and it's only on your exclusive home for Cincinnati Reds baseball. Boy, you think that Matt Latos is not happy about this ground ball? Yo-ho-ho-ho, believe it.
He was barking all the way back into the dugout. Well, that's nice to see.
I tell you what, that is who the Reds traded for.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's big league pitching right there now.
No doubt.
That is big league pitching.
Like I said, he ain't no chump. You don't give up 4 of your best for a chump.
Now the only question I would have, Cowboy, his overall pitch count is very, very low. He's gone through 6, but he had a, I mean, that was tough.
That was a rough
35
no
pitches.
Doubt. Well, you got to get somebody up with him.
Okay. I mean, you're going to let him go back out there, though, for the 7th.
Yeah, I'll let him go back out, but I'm going to get somebody up with him. I'm not going to let him lose the ball game after that. If he's not ready to go when he gets back out there, well, we'll get somebody in the game to help him out.
Let's see if the Reds can't give him a little bit more wiggle room, and that is A quick at bat for Stubbs. He had doubled, scored, and put down a sacrifice. 7 strikeouts now for Matt Cain. Well, it'd be nice to see him give Latos a little bit of a breather here. If nothing else, have the kind of inning like you had in the first inning, even if you don't score.
I totally agree. But it's what you run into when you let Matt Cain stay in the ballgame. You had a chance to knock him out early by a pitch count, not by runs, but by pitch count. And he stayed around, and now he's hitting spots like it's going out of style.
Well, Cain has really had his way with Reds batters since that opening inning. They had the at-bats, 4 at-bats in the first inning that went 7 pitches or more. Cozart 8, Phillips 8, Bruce 7, Rowland 10. They got a 2-run home run from Brandon Phillips, but ever since then only 1 batter has reached base. That was a double by Cozart to begin the 3rd. They bunted him down to 3rd. But then Cain struck out for a 2nd time in the game. The man who bats right now, Joey Votto. This is where we've seen Votto in his young career get so tough. Somebody will make him look bad his first 2 times up. And then that 3rd or 4th time, he will just hammer one somewhere. 3-1. It might be on this next pitch.
Well, he has not seen a fastball in the strike zone tonight. All the fastballs he has swung at have been up.
Balls, 2 strikes on Votto, and he walked. 2nd walk of the night given up by Cain, and don't miss the Reds and the Astros this weekend. And don't forget this Saturday, take advantage of the Reds' first 4 for 48 ticket deal. You get 4 view level tickets and a voucher for a free La Rosa's pizza. And don't forget the first 20,000 fans this Saturday through the gate get a Reds fleece blanket presented by Duke Energy. 3-1 Reds, or visit select Kroger locations or log on to Reds.com for tickets. Brandon, a 2-run home run, accounting for the lone 2 tallies in this game. It came in the opening inning. Foul ground, and this should be the 2nd out of the inning.
And Phillips knows he swung at a bad pitch. You can see him kneeling at home plate after the swing, and he's got his head down now. First pitch breaking ball, a pitch out of the strike zone, in a position where you could really put the hammer to Matt Cain in that pitch count.
This will be his 100th pitch of the night, and the first 55 of them came in the first 2 innings of the game.
Well, he's only come inside once to Jay Bruce, and that was the breaking ball that was down in the dirt right after I said he doesn't pitch left-handers in. Change-ups, backdoor breaking balls, and that running fastball away from the lefties. Funny the way that they played the left-handers, though, Tom. He's pitching them outside in order to hit the ball the other way, but yet the infield is shifted all the way around as if Jay's going to pull the ball. Pitch him one way and playing him a different way.
Well, I don't think they're buying into the theory that Jay worked so hard on during the offseason. They're just not buying it until you show it.
You have to show it.
They're not going to do it.
That's right.
Well, you talk about Sandoval. He's got to be playing almost halfway between the second and third base bags, and that one is shot into center, base hit. Latos thought about it, but Pagan got quickly to the baseball. So 2 on and 2 out for Roland.
Well, we talked about the biggest at-bat of the game for Matt Latos. Well, this would qualify for Matt Cain.
Well, for the first time all night long, they've got a few bodies starting to get up and move around, take off their jackets out beyond the right field fence down near the Giant bullpen. Cain is due up 4th. Well, the Giants bat in the 7th inning. It's a big at bat for Roland. Not only for Cain on the mound, but for Roland individually.
I agree. This puts the Reds in a great spot if they can put another tally on the board right here.
I mean, everybody talking about Roland, you know, in his struggles. Roland knocked in just 2 runs on the entire last road trip. Jay Bruce knocked in 1 run during the last road trip.
Well, it was definitely a struggle offensively up until the time they got into Chicago.
Giants have action down in their bullpen. Dan Otero, right-hander, beginning to throw. 2 on, 2 out. A ball and a strike on Scott Rowland. Off the end of the bat, down the right field line. Out of play. Cain ahead of Scott Rowland at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Votto at second. Jay Bruce on at first. Breaking ball sweeps away to even a count. Cain has already thrown more pitches tonight than either one of his last 2 starts. Where in both starts he went 9 innings without allowing a run.
And a base hit right here sends him to the showers. That's not a hit.
Popped up again to the right side of the infield. The Reds leave 2 more. They stranded 4 in the game. We move to the 7th. Will Latos come back with a 2-0 lead? answer to our question, Matt Latos is still on the mound. 2-0 as we move to the 7th inning. Tom Brenneman alongside the Cowboy, Jeff Brantley. And Cowboy, that was a rough inning for Latos, but he was able to battle through it. Giants left the bases loaded, so Dusty's giving him another chance, as you thought he would, to begin the 7th.
Well, I thought he would go back out simply because the pitch count has been down. But the situation here is you've got to have some barrels in the bullpen going right now in case that inning has taken all the juice out of it, and that's going to be big. We'll just see.
All right, to lead it off now is Brandon Belt, and he hooks it foul up the first base line. Belt 1 out of 2 in the game. Will be followed by Burris and then Crawford. Belt struck out his first time up, single to center in the 5th inning. Burris, the on-deck hitter, 0 for 2, and Brandon Crawford is 1 for 2. Looked like he went around. He did.
Leadoff hitter is huge here, Tom. We've talked about that throughout the ball game, man. It's been a tough batter for Latos, even though he's been able to work out of it. But as we get deeper into the game, the leadoff batter is the most important batter. Latos has put himself in a real good spot here, but he's got to have a good, quick inning right here in the bottom of this order.
Good way to get it started. There's a bouncer to Votto. And that is out number 1.
What Cincinnati was named one of the top 3 places to visit in 2012? Well, Cincinnati. Book your weekend getaway at CincinnatiUSA.com.
Well, one away in the inning, and that will bring up Emmanuel Burris. He is bounced to third and grounded into that double play after Belt had led off the 5th inning with a base hit. Well, the longest outing that Latos had in his prior 3 starts was 5 2/3 innings, and that was his last start, and that's one that he'd like to soon forget all about. That's when the Cardinals really knocked him around in St. Louis for 8 earned runs. But that was then. There's nothing you can do about it now. That's one of the oldest cliches in the book, but it is so true.
Boy, you got to have a short memory in this game. It doesn't matter if you're a starter, everyday player, or closing ball game.
This will be out number 2. Phillips takes care of Burris. This Giant team can be tough to match up with if you're thinking the whole lefty-righty thing. They have 4 switch hitters in the lineup tonight of their 8 position players. So now Brandon Crawford was single to center field and flied out to Drew Stubbs in center. They're really wondering what they're going to get out of Crawford here this year. You know, he came up, he knocked the cover off the ball. First 2 or 3 games in the big leagues, everybody's so excited, and then he hit under 200 the rest of the year. 0-1 to Crawford. Boy, that looked pretty good right there. See, that strike zone has changed a lot, and you see the frustration there by Latos.
Well, he's thrown a couple of pitches that have been right on the borderline. And it looked as though Hannigan got crossed up.
In the air, is it playable in foul ground? And the answer is yes. And how about Matt Latos? A 1-2-3 7th. And he has shut him out as we head for the bottom half of the inning.
American Ballpark, and mark your calendars, May the 13th. Reds and the Nationals take advantage of the Meyer Family Day deal. When one member of the family buys a full price ticket, they will get the option to buy 3 additional tickets at half price. And the first 8,000 kids 14 and younger that day get a J. Bruce cereal bowl and spoon set presented by New York Life. Well, my kids would love that. Yours would too, Cal.
No doubt. Well, when you shake hands with the manager, your day's over. But for Matt Cain, his continues on.
95. The pitch count for Matt Latos through 7 tonight.
Outstanding.
Boy, was he ever. You said it early on, Cowboy. That's the guy they traded for.
You got it.
And he can be even better than that.
I know
you're talking about a guy in 2010 that went 15 consecutive starts. Think about that. From June until September, a major league record of 15 straight starts where he allowed 2 runs or less. And that's a guy, along with a guy that might have had a losing record last year pitching for a bad San Diego team, that they can hope to help anchor this rotation for years to come.
Well, you said it earlier that he is younger than Mike Leake, but he is a monster of a guy. I mean, he is big.
High drive. Left center, 3-0 Reds.
Ludwig came into the ball game with 2 home runs off of Matt Cain. Well, you can add another one to it. Got a hanging breaking ball, and it's cost him twice tonight. Phillips got him early. Ludwig gets him here.
And that was on the 112th pitch of the game by Matt Cain.
I cannot believe he's still out there. I can't believe he came back out for the inning number 1. And I can't believe he's still on the mound now. Well, you lose your closer in Brian Wilson. Do they have any confidence in that bullpen at all down there?
I know some out there might say, yeah, they had a doubleheader yesterday, but I mean, one game they got, we told you, they got 5 innings out of Lincecum. They got 7 innings in the nightcap out of Bumgarner, and really neither one of those games were close games. Giants jumped on the Mets early and often, scored 6 runs in the first 4 innings of Game 1 against Miguel Batista, jumped all over the starter in Game 2 en route to a big win. Hopper to short, and to get thrown out.
Well, I guess maybe that's going to signal all she wrote for Mr. Matt Cain. Really surprised he was out there in this inning. There's a lot of difference, Tom, between 2-0 and 3-0, my friend.
Well, Cain goes 6 1/3 innings, allows 5 hits, 3 runs. I mean, heck, you know, you get an idea how good this guy really is. I mean, to think that, you know, he started the way he started, 55 pitches in the first 2 innings. Reds jumped on him in the first with a 2-run home run by Phillips. And they don't score again until the leadoff man here in the 7th.
2 bad pitches.
Skyline Chili called to the bullpen. A pitching change. We'll tell you about the new Giant right-hander when we come back. A 3-0 lead, and now the new Giants pitcher is right-hander Dan Otero. His 7th game has pitched 6 2/3 innings and allowed 2 runs. Willie Harris to bat for Matt Latos. Strike 1.
Otero with a low 3/4 delivery, throws a lot of strikes and gets the ball over the plate, not overpowering. Fastball, changeup, and a little slider.
And Willie Harris in to hold it short. This will be an infield hit for Willie.
And that was the changeup there. Just left it over the heart of the plate. And all Harris is looking to do is slap the ball the other way. And he gets a pitch in the middle of the zone to do that. Just out of the reach of Brandon Crawford. Looked like when he dove, his glove folded up under him.
So now back to the top of the order at Kozai. Strike 1. Zach really set the tone in the very first inning with that lengthy at bat, although he did end up popping up to the shortstop. Really made Kane work right from the start. The next batter, Stubbs, doubled, and then with 2 men out, Phillips, an 8-pitch at bat and a 2-run home run. I want to send out happy birthday greetings tonight to Cindy Browdy. Her husband John has been with us on our crew for a long time, and a good man. Cindy, happy birthday. Hope you're having a great day. Base hit into right center field, and Willie Harris stops at second base.
What's he doing?
Pagan got to that ball quickly out there in right center field, so perhaps Willie figured, hey, look, we got the heart of the order coming up. There's no sense in maybe getting thrown out at third in this inning.
Well, that's the only thing I can think of, because this is the best first to third team I've ever seen, and they've been that way for quite some time.
And I beg your pardon, there's only 1 out in the inning, so not wanting to make the second out of the inning. So now Harris at second base. Cozart is second hit tonight. He's at first. Drew Stubbs, 1 out of 2, has doubled, scored, put down a sacrifice, and struck out. Trouble here. And trying to steal one was Belt over there at first base.
Crawford had an awfully difficult throw to catch from Emmanuel Burris. Burris tried to turn it too quickly, and when he did, he came sidearm with the throw, pulled Crawford way towards the inside part of the bag. He had to reach for the bag and just couldn't get much on the throw at all. You see the throw from Burris. Actually, it was just a plain bad throw from Crawford. Don't want to put the blame on the wrong man.
So now Votto. And he is drilled in the right thigh to load him up.
A breaking ball from a young pitcher, and he held on to it a tad too long, not wanting to leave it out over the plate so Votto could hit one out there to the stacks.
They are loaded with 2 men out, and here's Brandon, who had a 2-run home run in the first inning. Well, now you got a chance to kick the door in here. 3-0 lead. You get a base hit, you take him out of grand slam range.
Anything out of the infield, you're going to score Stubbs.
0-1.
And if you're Willie Harris, you better be heads up this time, because if the ball gets away from Posey, you better score. That ball in right center field, I'm not so sure he shouldn't have been at third base.
Well, you can almost sense that Otero is gripping a little bit here. Well, he's nowhere near the strike zone. 2-0.
Well, he is supposed to be a strike thrower. That's why he comes out of the bullpen in this situation. But as you know, he just hit Joey Votto almost in the rib cage, holding on to a fastball too long that he didn't want to leave over the plate. And those last 2 pitches were, well, those weren't real good ones. We'll just say that.
3-0.
If I'm Brandon Phillips right here, I climb right up on top of that dish and see if he can throw it over the plate. I don't think he can.
Nothing Reds lead. Bases loaded. Walk by Otero.
I know Righetti here, this is all he wants to do is just give this guy a little bit of pep talk and try to keep him on the breather.
Saw Dusty Baker there, a lengthy chat, a one-way chat to Willie Harris, and I'm sure pointing out what you said, Cowboy, about next time let's get to third base.
Well, this club has always gone first to third, no matter what, and they push the envelope more than any other club I've ever been around, and to stop at second base, that probably needed to happen.
All right, now Jay Bruce.
Well, Jay's in a position right here, Tom, where he might get a cookie. Because Otero, the last thing he wants to do is put another base on balls in his resume with the bases loaded.
Well, you know, in the back of Bruce's mind, he is well aware that he is yet to get a hit this season with runners in scoring position. He is 0 for 12 to begin the year. Now, that's going to change, obviously. But sooner or later, that can start to beat you down.
Yeah.
Where are you now?
That's why you want it to change now.
Stubbs, Votto, Phillips aboard. And beat him with a fastball at 89. 2-2 the count on Bruce.
Well, the problem with Jay is he's pulling off of every pitch that is middle away. You could see the front shoulder almost in line with the second baseman before he ever got his hands going. If you do that, you're going to get beat with an 85-mile-an-hour fastball because you got nothing to hit with. Did it again there. And he's not the only one. It just takes a while to get yourself in rhythm. And he's not in rhythm. Neither is Joey. Neither is Roland. But pitching has put this team at least, oh my goodness.
How about that? That'll change it. That one rattles around in the right field corner. 2 runs are going to score, so Bruce his first hit with runners in scoring position, and he is officially kicked in the door.
Hallelujah. Well, that's what you want to get you started. You tag one like that. Boy, that can't help but make you feel good. A breaking ball, and Jay was all over it. Now you'd like for this guy to get in on the action. Everybody have a little fun so you can enjoy it.
Roland takes ball 1, the 9th man to bat in what has turned into a 4-run 7th inning. It started with a home run by Ludwig, and out later an infield hit by Harris. Single by Cozart. They got an out. But then Votto hit by a pitch. Phillips walks with the bases loaded, and Bruce a 2-run double. It rolling to bring in a couple of more. How about that?
Welcome to the party, Cincinnati Reds.
Roland follows Bruce, each with 2-run doubles, and 8-0 Cincinnati lead.
Tell you, Tom, you can't imagine what it's like to have a ball game like this for your offense. And I don't care who it is out there on the mound, when you find success. We talked about confidence early on. Well, this builds up your confidence to an unbelievable fashion.
A lot of smiles in that dugout. It's been a while since we've seen that. Ludwig started this inning with a home run to knock Matt Cain out of the game. I guess officially Cain stayed in for one more batter. Here's a big smile from Mr. Latos. He's 6 outs away from his first Reds win.
You know that he is going to savor this as much as anybody can possibly savor.
Sharp one hopper. Crawford throws out Ludwig. 10 men bat, 6 of them score. Reds lead as we go to the 8th. 8-0.
It was a picture-perfect night for this young man. It started out early. He had a tough situation early on, and then he came back, continued to use the inside part of the plate, and that was the key to victory for him. Fastball location, getting in on the left-hander's hands, and making big pitches when he had to. Not every inning was perfect, and it's going to get better. But that out right there with the bases loaded and the hammers knocking at the door for the Giants with a 2-0 lead. That was the biggest out of the ball game, and it's all smiles for the big right-hander right now.
Boy, it's so big to see that out of Latos. I mean, does that guarantee his next start he's going to be great? Of course not. But I mean, to finally get this kind of a game, you're coming back home. You know, you have a 4-6 road trip. You'd really like to set the tone. You know you're going up against one of the best pitchers in baseball. You get it for 2 early on, and your starter outduels him.
Well, you had to feel coming into this game that if we were going to see the real Matt Latos, it was going to come against the Giants. There was some feelings that going into this ball game that, well, it brought out the best in Matt Latos, and that's what we want.
And you thought that might happen, Cowboy. You said from the very beginning of this. So Willie Harris remains in there after pinch hitting, getting a pinch hit single and scoring a run. Brandon Phillips will get the final 2 innings off, and Jose Arredondo with a 1-1 count, and the pitcher Otero's going to bat. When you're down 8-0, why get anybody else up down in that bullpen?
There's no reason to. And there may be some issues in that bullpen that we don't know about, and that's one of the reasons that Matt Cain pitched to the limit that he did.
Well, they got a couple of extra inning games. Now, we mentioned, you know, they got rained out on Sunday after they had played Friday night, and they were off on Thursday. But the first game in New York, I take that back. Thursday they played. They had an extra inning game. They were off Wednesday, but the final game against Philadelphia, that also went into extra innings. So, you know, you throw in a doubleheader. everybody but Sergio Romo pitched yesterday is their strike 3. So there are a lot of guys that are getting a breather tonight.
Sometimes you got to sacrifice to make it happen.
That's right. Reds' first 4 for 48 ticket deal this season is coming up. You get 4 view level tickets, a voucher for a large La Rosa's pizza. Reds and the Astros this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Make sure to take advantage of the Reds' 4 for 48 ticket deal. It's a good deal. Those are good seats.
No doubt. I'll take the pizza.
Yeah, why not? Wouldn't that sound good right about now? Big old La Rosa's large sock.
Oh, I could eat the whole thing. So.
What would you throw in that bad boy, Cowboy? I mean, you know, late night. And you love having a little something. You know, you always like to say you like having
all the meats, extra cheese.
All the meats?
All the meats, extra cheese. That's what I order. That's what they bring to my door. I hand them my 20. Whatever it costs. See ya. Appreciate it.
Now, would you knock down an entire large just before it's time to turn out the lights?
Oh, yeah, that's the best way to sleep. Big old full belly, shutting her down. Oh, man, sleep like a rocket.
1-2 on Pagan. Now, do you think there's a chance that could happen tonight?
It could. It could.
It could. All right.
And I know, you know, the doctors say not to eat with a full stomach, that it, you know, your digestion keeps you from sleeping well. Well, that's opposite for me. When my stomach's growling, that means I'm getting up. When my boiler's full, I'm sleeping like a teddy bear.
Pull to the right side. And there are 2 outs in the inning.
It may be a huge lead for the Reds right now, but I think we're seeing something from Jose Arredondo that is an emerging power right-hander out of the Reds bullpen. We saw him last year, flashes of brilliance, but where he lacked the control last year, we're seeing control both with the fastball and with the split finger. 4 strikes. And I think with regular work, which he's going to get at the end of the ball game, it's only going to be that much better for the Reds down the road, especially the longer that Nick Massett stays out. Between him and Logan Ondrusek, I like my chances right now.
Boy, it would be nice, though, when to get Massett back in that group.
No doubt.
I think a lot of people forget. You know, he may have had points in time over the last couple of years, and most of them have come in the month of April.
Right.
But, I mean, you look May through September over the last 4 years, he's been mighty good. They need him back.
Yeah, his numbers and his appearances, I mean, he's a horse, and they do need him back. Oh, that's nasty.
A 1-2-3-8 for Arredondo. Reds are back for what they hope will be the final time, leading 8-0. 8-0.
That sounds
in the first, and then 6 of them in the 7th inning.
That sounds real good.
Sure does.
I mean, even some of the ball games that Matt Latos pitched well against the Giants, he has not gotten victories. He was 2-0 against them to start his career, and he has yet to have a victory in his last 7 starts.
Till tonight. There's a double by Hannigan to begin the Reds' bottom of the 8th inning.
That's the way the Reds run bases. You push it to the limit. Hannigan gets inside this ball. This ball doesn't go all the way to the wall. It's right down the line. See his head down right away? He's thinking 2 right out of the box. That's what you have to do to be an aggressive base runner. And that's the reason Dusty pulled Willie Harris aside.
The Reds have scored more runs in the game tonight than they did in 7 of their games on the road combined. To begin the road trip, they got 2 in D.C., 1 the next night, 1 the next night. They had back-to-back games against the Cardinals where they scored 1 run. So there's 5 of them. And they scored 1 run in a loss at Chicago.
Well, Tom, you know that when this group gets going as a group, they hit everybody. And they put up a lot of crooked numbers. And that's the one thing that...
That's a good job there by Willie Harris. Advancing the runner, pulling it to the right side. Let's take a look at our Nissan drive of the game. Went from 2-0 to 3-0 on this swing.
A hanging breaking ball up and out over the plate. And those usually don't come back with smiles.
Well, it depends who it is.
Yeah. If you're a Red, you're smiling. If you're Matt Cain, you're about to throw up. But anytime you have a ball game like this, going back to what you were talking about on the hitting front, it puts guys in a good frame of mind. Gets you good confidence, gets things going in the right direction.
So, you know, Cowboy, in an 8-0 game for a young guy like Kozar, to me, this is a really big at bat for a guy like him. Now, is it going to mean the difference between winning and losing? No. But he's had 2 hits in a game tonight. Now you got a chance to knock in a run with a runner standing down there at third and 1 man out. You can cap off, you talk about confidence, you can cap off a really nice night by getting in this run right here.
Oh.
Well, he did everything he could. That's a nice play out at second by Burris. 2 away.
I still agree with you and what you were talking about with the Giant scout with Kozar. I think you're seeing the emergence of a shortstop that is going to be here for a while. When you got guys like that coming from your system, it only helps you in the trade market, as we have seen.
Well, now Stubbs, he's had a good night too. 1 out of 3 has scored a pair of runs, has put down a sacrifice. And it's going to get the run in. Even if it's fielded by Burris, no chance. So a second hit tonight for Stubbs, and that'll drive in the 9th run of the game.
You see how relaxed the hitters are for the Reds now as they come to the plate. Your hands relax, your body relaxes. You don't feel so much pressure and tension and force in your swing and trying to do something good. That's why a night like this is just so big for an offensive club.
and Matt Latos, the only original members of the starting lineup without a hit. Latos has been on base twice. He's walked and been hit by a pitch, scored a run.
He got hit, but he didn't get it.
And this ought to finish off the night for Joey. And oh, it looked like the runner may have been safe out there at second base. And there's an injured Giant. The second baseman Burris was going to cover, I beg your pardon, Crawford, after making the throw. As they get Votto, I believe, at first.
Well, you don't Cadillac it when you got Drew Stubbs running from first to second. You better get there in a hurry. I thought he was safe.
So the inning is over. Reds get a run. 9-0 we head for the ninth. And then the rest of the night it belonged to Matt Latos, shutting him out through 7. Reds scored 6 in the 7th, 1 more in the 8th. And lead 9-0 as Sam LeCure will take over in the 9th. More on him in a moment, but here's the way the bottom of the 8th inning ended.
Well, it appeared to me that Drew Stubbs got his foot on the bag before the flailing body of Crawford got to the bag. And you can see them come in. They arrive at the same time. Stubbs is staying on the bag as Crawford goes over the top. Looked like he slammed his neck on the ground.
Hope he's all right. Well, that's a hard blow to the ground. Great hustle by Stubbs, though, in a, 9-0 game.
You're going to get it every time.
And Sandoval makes it a hit in 17 straight games, and that establishes, to begin a season, a San Francisco Giants franchise record. He shared the record with a hit in the first 16 games to begin a year since they moved from New York to the Bay Area with Willie Mays. Well, congratulations to Kung Fu Panda.
There you go. Well, he's done it with hard work and determination on his own. Because had he not lost the weight and got himself back into playing shape, he wouldn't be playing third base for the San Francisco Giants right now.
Yeah, they really challenged him last year, you may remember. They were ready to run him out of town.
Oh, yeah.
McCure throws that one behind Buster Posey. And now a warning has been issued to each side. What do you think about that?
Well, this is because of Joey Votto being hit earlier. And so LeCure in the game, and it goes both ways.
And there's strike.
mean, it appeared to me that Otero, when he threw the ball inside, I don't think he was trying to hit Joey, but hey, I'm not out there on the mound.
You hear about it all the time, Cowboy. I mean, whether or not they meant to hit Votto or not, you know, you can sit there and debate it all you want and talk about it. Nobody's going to ever admit it, nor will LeCure admit, you know, trying to send a warning there to Buster Posey. But if you're a teammate of Sam LeCure, I would imagine that, and you would know better than anybody, that you appreciate that.
He did what he was supposed to do.
What a play by a fan right there.
To catch it.
Holy man, look at LeCure. LeCure's even looking up at it. That is a big league play. That guy right there in the red jacket brought his glove.
With glove?
Yep. And now what they're going to do is they're going to get the ball from him, and they're going to get it signed for him.
That's pretty cool.
It's really cool. In the air, right center field. Bruce giving chase back to the wall, and Posey says, "Take that."
Well, that kid's got
looking back at it.
That kid's got some unbelievable power.
Well, it's the most energetic. Look at that giant dugout. I mean, they are fired up down there. After LeCure throws one behind Posey, and then he hits one to the seats in right center field for a home run to break up the shutout bid.
And he didn't hit a bad pitch either. Down and away, and that just shows you why this kid has got the promise that he had.
Also shows you when we get back into this ballpark the difference between this yard and not every one of them, but virtually every one of them. I mean, in San Francisco, that ball is caught 30 yards in front of the warning track.
Can of corn. But you know, it's both ways. It's for both teams.
That's right.
And you know that when you make a pitch, if it's out over the plate and you don't set it up, there's a chance that's going to happen. That's why you have to pitch inside in this park. Keep guys from diving out over the plate. Because any ball that you hit on the good part of the bat and you get good full extension, the ball's going to travel. And in this ballpark, it's going to travel into the seats.
Posey, his first hit of the night, his third home run in this young season. Posey's been getting his hits, just not knocking in a lot of runs. He's got 7 of them now. There's a ground out, one out here in the ninth.
Well, he's not knocking any runs in because the guy in front of him, Sandoval's got 13. He's cleaning up the bases, and he can't score when he's standing at first. Boy, Latos did a great job tonight.
Well, you know, you had to love the comments by the young man. I mean, he was about as honest as it gets after his first start as a Red. That opening weekend series against the Marlins, admitted to being, you know, very nervous and trying to, something you said earlier, Cowboy, trying to prove to everybody he's worth the players they traded to get him.
And you can't help that. I mean, it's just part of human nature. But as the season goes along, I think you'll see exactly why the Reds made the move that they did.
I think not only this season, but seasons.
Right. I mean, the biggest issue tonight that you were making a comment on earlier, he's younger than Mike Leake.
Yeah, only by a month or so, but I mean, he's still younger, and that's hard to imagine.
And the guy already has basically 400 innings in the big leagues in 2 years.
you're having a tough time. Pull out a single, a home run, got an out. Now walks a batter. And here comes Emmanuel Burris.
Well, he doesn't want to go much further than where he's at right now. Because the last thing that Dusty wants to have to do is to get anybody else up in the bullpen. You want to just go ahead and make it happen right here and right now. The home plate umpire is not going to make it easy for him.
Rolling down on one knee. There's one, and they turn it, and that'll end the old ball game.
Whew, that was a heck of a turn.
Sure was. Willie Harris making that turn after rolling from his knee through a strike. And an opening game win for the Reds in the first of 3 with the Giants in town. Congratulations, Matt Latos. His first win as a Cincinnati Red. 9-2 our final. We're back with more from Great American Ballpark. Reds have now won back-to-back games.